The Tokyo real estate market always seems to be in motion, but what's really going on under the surface? Well, we're going to dive right into the January 2026 report from the Real Estate Information Network for East Japan to figure it out. Let's get into it. So, the big question on everyone's mind is, what's the deal with the secondhand housing market in the greater Tokyo area right now? And the answer, it turns out, isn't one single story. It's actually a fascinating split. You see, we're looking at a tale of two completely different markets. Over here, you've got condominiums, or condos. And over on the other side, detached houses. And trust me, as we're about to see, their stories are heading in totally opposite directions. Let's kick things off with the market that's been making all the noise, condos. The entire story here can pretty much be summed up in 3 words. The rise continues. Okay, I want you to just look at this number for a second. 69. That is the number of months in a row, consecutive months, that the average price per square meter for a secondhand condo has gone up. Let's put that into perspective, because 69 months is kind of hard to wrap your head around. That's almost 6 straight years of non-stop price increases, every single month without fail. Since May of 2020, prices have just climbed higher and higher. It's a truly historic run. And if you need a visual, this chart right here, straight from the report, says it all. This shows the price per square meter. I mean, just look at that line starting around 2020. That's not a gentle hill. That's a steep, relentless mountain climb. So what's fueling this fire? This table breaks it down perfectly. Demand is just red hot, right? Both the average price and the number of sales are up year over year for 15 months straight. But, and this is the key, look at that bottom line, inventory. The actual number of condos for sale has been shrinking for 6 months in a row. It's economics 101, isn't it? High demand plus low supply, well, that equals soaring prices. All right, now let's completely switch gears and look at the other side of this coin. We're talking about detached houses now, where this story is a whole lot different. It's really all about stability. And the most important point, the real key difference, is right here. It is all about inventory. While the supply of condos is drying up, the inventory of detached houses, it's been increasing for 41 months straight. 41! This one factor completely changes the whole dynamic of the market. The data here tells such a fascinating story. Sales are incredibly strong, up a whopping 17%. But because there are more houses on the market, that crazy upward pressure on prices just isn't there in the same way. In fact, this month's 7.1% price jump, that was the first increase in 2 months. It's just a much more balanced, stable market. But hold on, this story gets even more layered. It's not just condos versus houses. It's also about where you are in the Tokyo area. Location, as they say, is absolutely everything. These 2 maps give us a fantastic at-a-glance summary. On the left, you see the change in the number of sales. On the right, the change in price. The colors tell the whole story. Green is good, it means growth, and blue means a drop. And as you can see, it is not the same picture everywhere. Not at all. So let's break down what those maps are actually showing us. For the first time in over a year, the number of sales actually fell in the heart of the city, Tokyo's 23 wards. Sales also dipped down in Chiba Prefecture. But look at this disconnect with the prices. In Chiba, fewer sales led to lower prices, which makes sense. But central Tokyo? It's like a different world. Even with fewer sales, prices there shot up by over 11%. Wow. Okay, so what does this all mean when you put it all together? Let's try to boil this down to the key takeaways from this month's report. So here's the bottom line. First, the condo market is just running red hot, totally driven by that historic price run and a serious lack of properties. Second, the market for detached houses is way more balanced. Strong demand is actually being met by a steady supply. And finally, and this is maybe the most important part, these are not blanket trends. The market is behaving very differently depending on where you look, with places like central Tokyo and Chiba heading in opposite directions. And all of that brings us to the final multi-million-dollar question, doesn't it? In a market that's seen condo prices rise for 69 straight months, the biggest unknown is simply this: how long can that possibly last?